beach. Biomech Tofu will take the south beach. Mr. Elusive and Graham will be the backline support players. The battle begins. Barely a wait time at all. It commences. Here we go. If you've never seen this map played before, I don't think this is actually... This is actually kind of... Hang on. My orientation is kind of jacked up. Hang on, we're going to change it. There we go. This is the correct orientation. I don't know why my default was set to that other. Yeah, this is the right orientation. We're good. Alright. Normally what this dives into is you got 2 players at each of the beaches on both sides. They'll be trying to take the oceans against their respective opponents on the other side of the lake. The rear players will either be economy players. You'll normally have 1 eco and 1 air. Sometimes they'll kind of mix and match, do both. And your frontline players, of course, will be actually doing the combat. They'll be fighting over this tiny strait right here in the middle. This absolutely brutal, narrow strip of land. There will be a great deal of jousting in the beginning with rocket bots, presumably. Lots of chat so far. It looks like somebody who doesn't really play air has taken air, which is a problem. Air is a bit more advanced. You have a slower advancement path, and your air is going to be very fragile. So, you don't want to lose all of your air very easily, or you won't be helping anybody. First scouts come across the center by Scipio. We got a rover. Gonna get straight by. Will he go straight for the base? It looks like he's microing it around the base. Might be going straight for the back lines. Oh, it looks like there's enough units at each of these bases here. Not be a problem. More scouts coming out. Scipio sending 4 scouts out. Gonna do some harassment. Limidium. Blue sending his scouts across. He's got also 3 rovers coming across the map. Scipio went straight for Biomech. However, his commander's in place. He doesn't have any static defenses, but his commander's close. That's some scout harassment over here, taking out a pawn. He's gonna move into Revalion's base, get toasted by the commander. Nothing really done there. On the other side, Limidium scouts. Down to the south, going in near red base. It's gonna jump on this mechs. Metal extractor going down very quickly. No defenses here for Sloppy B. Now, it should be noted, this is a relatively low-level game, so this should be pretty fun. Although, we should remember that it is easier to move up and down the ladder, so that has affected the perception of the scores a little bit. Now, Limidium's getting a lot of damage here on Sloppy B, taking out 2 mexes, and it looks like a wind farm. It's going to go down to Arajar, and take out these mexes too. He's doing a lot of economic damage. He's putting in work with those scouts. That harassment's going to continue, but at north, here at the center, we have a combat squad moving across. Moving on a little far here. These mexes aren't even taken yet, so this is a very aggressive game right at the beginning, which I like to see. I don't think this isn't enough to jump on this commander. You could just degun this. He will run in and get some damage done. Tries to degun, only takes 1 of these pawns out. Doesn't quite focus them down. He kind of switched targets, I guess because the one he was shooting fell out of range. Fortunately, he'll get by, but the Sloppy B and Scipio will respond with their units, take those out pretty quickly. We got the first self-destruction. Mr. Elusive at the north, in the purple, destroys his commander. He's almost halfway. He's about halfway, actually, through his advanced bot lab. An advanced bot lab, so he is not doing air, but he is tier 2 rushing so that he can get his teammates some tier 2 engineers as quickly as possible. At the middle, blue has pretty much taken the center area. There is almost no contest from Sumac and Scipio, the red team front players. Communista and Limidium have their commanders right up at the front. There's a pause. They paused it momentarily, but... Okay, there we go. Bad Karma doesn't even know. Somebody has left, it looks like. Jakey has left the game. And It's Me Yeti has taken over Jakey's units. That leaves the South Sea pretty much undefended. An unfortunate occurrence. In the north, though, Red Team is having the same amount of luck as Sir Lucky is moving in on Biomech Tofu. Completely canceling out the effort to build a fleet here. Very slow to get this out. He may have been interrupted a few too many times, or maybe he tried to get too many defenses built. There's no defenses here. Perhaps just a little bit slow on the uptake. Down at the middle, Scipio and Sumac right at the pretty much have allowed Blue Team to completely take the center here. Rebellion says 30 seconds to Tier 2. Red Team will lose because no anti-air? Well, that is the trend here, isn't it? I don't see any anti-air, actually, so you may be correct. Let's see what kind of air we're looking at right now. Do we have any builds? So Graham is just ecoing up right now. He's got a vehicle plant. Mr. Elusive also ecoing up Tier 2. But he's not going to be doing anything with air quite yet, so I think they're pretty safe for now. On the other side, we do have an advanced Tier 2 aircraft plant going up, so it might be Blue Team taking the loss from an air raid this time. And Blue Team really having a hard time there. They pretty much conquered the land, but the sea. The sea is at the beck and call of Red Team at the moment. Sir Lucky is just completely driven Biomech Tofu out of here. Biomech is putting tanks under the sea here. They're not really, they can't shoot from under the water, so they're not very useful. You probably should be using hovercraft right now. At the middle, Scipio and Reverus have finally set up something of a defensive line here, as well as Sumac. Now we've got some, tanks, actually. No rocket units. All vehicles at the moment. Tanks and a little bit of artillery here and there. Some static has gone up. Could make the difference. They don't have the sea or the islands. Nobody's taken the islands yet. Arjar has total control of the sea. He could move over to this island and take it. Same thing with Sir Lucky. Both of them have not made use of their respective islands. Scipio says, what the fuck is going on back here is what he says. You bought H can be air. Mr. Elusive took something else? I think Mr. Elusive tried to take in case there was any units that could be taken, but there are none. It's Me Yeti took over the Jakey, the player that left, already took his. The medium's getting some artillery up. The agitator, really needed. You can't run a defensive line without a few of those artillery guns. They really space it out, make it difficult to approach. Anti-nuke in 1 minute from Rebellion. Now, what's the range on this? It's been a while, so bear with me. 1245, 710 on light artillery. So the agitator's medium artillery can actually outrange vehicle artillery. But he's not going to get to finish it. Scipio's going to move in with 5 tanks here. Take out some of the static. Landing shots on the agitator. He really needs that agitator to finish. They're expensive. They take a long time. Scipio, uncontested here. Really able to just move in. Kills a whole lot of units. Backs out before he loses even a single tank. Wait, up. 1 tank goes down. And the agitator is done. So he's going to need to build his forces and come back in a little more, because you will be taking fire the entire time when you try to approach an agitator. Problem is, artillery now has range on Scipio's entire defensive area, so he needs to move forward and take that gun out, and he will do so, this time with twice as many tanks. These go straight for that artillery. Really dancing around the outside here. He's just taking artillery fire. Limidium has enough tanks to deal with this. Cannot approach that artillery yet. A joint attack could push in, but it's about even forces on both sides. Down in the seas, it looks like Arajar is looking to spam some torpedoes. Down the South Sea, it's me, Yeti, currently building a defensive and a very heavy defensive line here at the south. Whereas at the north, Biomech Tofu, now his tanks, which are underwater, are getting hit by torpedoes from a submarine. Bear with me. We're getting back into the swing of things with casting. Okay, so if there's dead air, okay, just bear with me. Got it. Now, what do we have going on at the center? Absolutely chill at the moment, with the exception of Limidium's one artillery gun, which has been putting in the work. I kind of wish I could see. Oh, I can see how many kills. It's got 9 kills so far. Now, it's going to be a push by Limidium, but with several beamers in place, it's going to be difficult to push with a small tank force. Meanwhile, Communista, pretty significant force of his own over here. A ton of mobile artillery. Move in and just start carpet bombing this area. Revra is forced to pull his bots back. The entire defensive replacement might be abandoned on Revra's side, which is a problem for him. But Sumac got tier 2 coming up. If they can hold the line just long enough, the tier 2 units can completely turn this battle around. Meanwhile, the sea's still totally dominated by Red Team, still have not taken these islands. Just a whole bunch of metal production left, utterly untouched. Arajar could be going up to 40, 50 metal right now. Chooses not to. Still pretty even on Commander, 7-6 at the moment. Blue team totally taking over this middle portion of the map here. Middle's also valuable because if you look at the bases, where those mechs are at, each of these metal extractor points on the normal bases is 2.3 metal per second, but here in the middle it's 4.3, twice as much metal. So whoever controls the center, you get quite a lot of metal, and there's 2 ways to do that. You can of course build your own mechs down here on top of these metal points, but just denying your enemy the ability to take theirs also important. That's mostly what Blue is doing successfully right now at the middle. Heavy defensive going up for Scipio, out of range of the artillery. See what I mean? Even one artillery gun can make a huge difference. But Arajar, couple of paladins, we got cruisers coming in, he's just bombing in Limidium from offshore, and there is no anti-sea defense for this. Huge gap in the defenses here. These 2 boats putting in a ton of work. A lot of the economy going down. Limidium moves 1 tank in. He has to pull his tank force back. This will leave the middle weak. Great move there by Arajar. Almost the entire base here. That's an exaggeration. It's not almost the entire base, but it is quite a lot. A lot of the economy went down. He'd lost a mix. Quite a lot of his solar production. And these cruisers can outpace or outrange these tanks. So now that the tanks are here, doesn't even matter. Needs to get some static D up as soon as possible. Just give these cruisers something to chew on with these tanks and get some static D up. In the meantime, down in the bottom, they're taking that opportunity. We have Sheldon's tier 2 rocket bots, tier 2 artillery bots, dropping pain down upon with communist stuff. It's calling to repair this shit, but there really isn't much here. Big missile strikes. But it looks like Red will actually manage to put the pressure that he needs. Communista calling for help. Predictable result here. Arajar sounds like a Charizard that didn't get a proper password and is now in the country illegally. Yes. Yes, Charizard down here in the South Sea. Still doing nothing with any of these resources, but it's me, Yeti, can't put any pressure on the sea. So he's free to do what he wants with these cruisers. Arjar says their blue is dying, and true. This base is pretty much going down. He's moving some constructors out. He might have to just build elsewhere, but I don't think there's anywhere open except for these islands. And both the seas are pretty dominated. There is technically a path, but there's no way you could know that. Revers moves in. Medium assault tanks coming in. Not a lot of light tanks here. These medium tanks can make quick work of the enemy emplacements. Communista static D, and so is Leminium. Leminium and Communista, the blue static defense is completely gone now. There is nothing, well, I was about to say except that light laser, but it immediately got hit with rockets and died. Communista pulls back. Leminium leaves his tanks at the front though. Now they're outnumbered, taking Sheldon fire. The gradual long-range bombardment now, Arjar. With some longbows, missile cruisers in position, with a range of 1550, can hit that base from very far away. Red has completely taken the center. Blue has no economy, at least not enough to run a significant military. There is a whole bunch more of his solar production. He's trying to rebuild right now, but he doesn't have an answer for this bombardment, so rebuilding, questionable value. Not sure what I would do in this situation. I mean, build sea defenses next time, I guess. Get some torpedoes up. At least put some threat on these cruisers because they are tearing it up right now. Communista with his army. All tier 1 though. Moving in. He's just going to attack straight in, try and push this off. The red forces should... they're doing the correct thing. Keep moving those Sheldons back. Keep moving them further back. Rever's making sure to keep those artilleries far away so they're not getting in range of the tank shots. Meanwhile, Scipio's tanks getting tons of fire on them as they drive by, but it was still a pretty significant force. A lot of damage gets done. There's a lot of salvage now at the middle, which Leminium desperately needs because there's still a Navy parked right outside. Jakey leaving the game was a big deal, with nobody take the seas to the south. And It's Me Yeti simply is putting no effort into the sea, all defense on the sea. He does not want to bother going out there, and so there is nobody to contest this. There needs to be air power right now. Is there anything? An advanced vehicle plant? An advanced fusion reactor? So Mr. Elusive is playing the eco player right now, but just no production right now for air at all, and they desperately need air at the moment. Is anybody else making air? Volume has tier 2 ground production. It's Me Yeti advanced bot lab. No air production at all for blue. The one time I would say, because normally air is pretty fragile, but it can come in and just win games. I mean, he's calling out It's Me Yeti for playing tower defense, and yeah, I kind of agree. That's a lot of production also being spent on these towers. Be way better. There isn't actually a lot out here. These are basic torpedo launchers. If he built a huge hovercraft force, he could just run out there and probably kill this. But he has just been building massive tower network over here, leaving blue to kind of fend for themselves at the sea. But in the north, it's not any better. Biomech Tofu has done essentially nothing because there isn't much he can do. He's finally building hovercrafts, which that should have been built a long time ago. I don't think this was up for a while. But of course, it is, like I said, it is a low-level game, so there's no pros here or anything. Biomech Tofu doesn't have enough hovercraft here, I don't think. Now, there's really not enough hovercraft for this. He's going to go out and challenge the Navy anyway, but Sir Lucky has some heavy cruisers out there that are just making short work of everything right now. Does kill quite a few ships. Well, 2 ships, I guess. Might be quite a few, considering his DPS output is kind of poor. He's not focus firing at all. So, Sir Lucky will lose nothing of importance. At the middle, completely cleaned up. It's just artillery bombardments right now. Do we have any air for red team? We've got aerial constructors. Scipio's calling for anti-nuke. There is air for bad karma, but he's only producing... Well, he's got a stealth... He's producing some fighters, so he might be producing an actual fighter... A fighter wall tune, but... It looks like there was a... Well, actually, I don't know that there was one. I think Arajar is just bombing that area. He can't see up there, so he doesn't know there's no geothermal. He's just bombing up there to see if he gets one. Floppy B says he's getting a Juno up. At this point, Biomech Tofu completely run off the shore. He's having to build his he's building an aircraft plant. But he doesn't have a lot. He also never upgraded to tier 2. Now, hovercraft plant built at the shore, actually. Doesn't make a lot of sense to do that either if you completely lost control of the sea. Should have built it further back. In the meantime, trying to see what this symbol is here. Red is taking control of pretty much everything here. Got some big lasers coming off here. We have tachyons. Some starlights coming in. Now the problem is there isn't a lot of energy production. Communist is at 2K, but it's not enough to run 6 tachyon lasers at the same time. But even just being able to shoot at less than the full amount is pretty valuable here. To do quite a lot of damage. It's a very long-range army as well. There isn't anything close, but when your opponent's doing nothing but mass-producing artillery and mortars, I suppose that's fine. You push them back temporarily, but knowing that those starlights are there is going to make it a little bit difficult to push in with anything less than an overwhelming force. Arajar says flagship online, and we can see it here. The Epic. The range of 2450. Making its way. The main bombarding military here. It's me, Yeti. Now going to pay. For not taking the sea earlier. Is just going to get bombarded from the sea now. First shots of the flagship. The sea shaking with the thundering cacophony of this flagship bombardment. Just dropping massive artillery pain upon Limidium, who can't do anything about this. Trying to build some pop-up plasma artillery. I mean, it's just calling GG. Oh my, what happened? It's a nuke. Scipio was calling for anti-nuke earlier. I guess he actually saw that there was a nuke. One of their support players just gone now. And the thing is, if there's one thing, what that tells whoever fired it, who has the nuke? Whoever fired it, Sumac says he has anti-nuke on the middle, but there's not enough anti-nuke in the rear. In fact, Karma's completely undefended. He's building anti-nuke now. It'll be 1 minute before it's done. Will another nuke be fired? I'll figure out who actually had it. Let's see. Not seeing who's got it right now. It's kind of hard to focus on that when all this combat is happening at the middle. Limidium. Base is basically completely gone. He has no production now. I'm sure his commander's dead too. Yep, his commander went up in smoke. Took his factory with it. Capital ship bombardment. just an overwhelming push right now. Communist has been run off. The medium base destroyed. The front is lost, both C's are lost. Only a matter of time now. It's me, Yeti, decided the best way to spend his resources. Do you understand how many units this could have built? Arguments happening on the blue team right now. I gotta say, Yeti really didn't put up a great performance here. Communist is saying lost 2 C's and backline didn't do anything. True, at least for the backline. There wasn't any air production, so no ambush potential here. Finally some air coming forward, but it's just a few bombers up front. Yeti says I had to take over one dude. I don't know that you should be talking right now since you didn't really do anything with the extra resources that taking his player actually gave you. Could have taken straight to the sea. Built static D along this cliff line here. Get some artillery that'll fend off the early Navy and then just go all Navy and try to take this sea over because this is a problem. Dissent among the ranks. Blue team arguing amongst themselves now. While Arajar's capital ship. There it goes. Chain reaction. Taking out a whole bunch of Yeti's production. Still plenty here, but there's nothing to deal with this bombardment at all. Nothing of range. You really need some air power to deal with this. There's tier 3s. There's tier 3 units on the field, and Marauders coming to the front. A lot of fire. That's a lot. He is mass producing these very fast. Holy shit. He is cranking out Marauders about 5 seconds between each other. These are amphibs. I don't think they can shoot in the water. He's building some of them up now. Letting them get into a large group on the shore. He's going to push them forward and win. Yeti's bombardment continues. I just don't think there's enough here. It's nice that you finally have these tier 3 units pushing. The thing is, this game was only less than 30 minutes long. They were losing their bases at the 20-minute mark, so... I mean, if you're talking about backline not doing anything, the backline has to take... It takes a long time to get all that stuff up. Get to the point where you're mass-producing Marauders 5 seconds at a time. He's gonna leave the front. I don't know if that's wise, but there may not be any radar. Let's take a look at Communista's camera here. They don't see it. They don't know that that huge army is coming in right now. Elusive cannot see it. So he moves his Marauders away from the front door. Maybe. No, he's got some at the back. Just a tier 3 ambush force coming in. But they see it. They know it's there. I don't know if it's wise to come up at this shore. That is a lot of DPS being put on these Marauders. Marauders are tough, but they're not that tough. He's going to lose everything here, I think. He's just going to do a run-by. He's just running them straight into the base. No chill with this attack, but I guess if you're producing them 5 seconds between each other, you don't have to worry too much about losing a few. And he just runs them straight through, completely ignores the army. Goes into the back. Chain reactions. Or Marauders can put out a ton of damage. It's not like energy production or any kind of resource production is particularly well armored. Sumac comes in with a cloak commander, takes out the last of the Marauders. Decent damage, but that wasn't critical. Not a good idea there, rolling up on the shore. You know, he may not have, he couldn't have seen what he was walking up into. They had him pegged immediately. So their radar in place. In the meantime, bombardment continues for Arajar. Now able to hit these Marauders from the shore. Absolutely still, nothing at all contesting this flagship. We got some Sheldons in place though. They're already getting shot. From that close, you don't need a lot of accuracy. This battleship is inaccurate, sure, but Nothing here for blue. I gotta say, Yeti was in a great position to do something with it. I'm most disappointed, I think, in Yeti's performance. I've seen him in other games. I don't recall exactly because it's been a while since I've streamed. But there really isn't a huge amount of defense here. You have a bunch of tier 1 units and tier 1 defenses. Building a huge hovercraft force and just running it over was totally possible. And as much as I like the Marauders, they're an amazing ambush unit, but they're really not that great in the front line. They definitely put out more damage and have more health than your typical unit. And once again, they just immediately spot it. I mean, now they're just taking torpedoes? What are those? I think they're firing torpedoes. The Marauders are now taking torpedo fires. Not enough, though. They'll get a big force through. He's producing them like tier 1 units. This is funny as hell, I'm not gonna lie. He's just gonna run right up in there. This could turn the game around if he gets enough damage done. I mean, Red's got control of the game, but that's a huge Marauder force that's made it pretty much unscathed past here. They're gonna need to move in a commander. Are there any commanders nearby? There are just none. Luckily, Sir Lucky, most of his base is at sea. Marauders have gone straight by, but there's nothing to contest this. Right now, Scipio is moving his entire force back. He's the only one to respond right now, but there are 2 Titans coming in. But I'm gonna say right now, Reverend's, his friggin' economy is about to get toasted. That is so much DPS coming into his base right now. Walks straight through the barrier. And it's just gonna start doing massive damage. Mr. Elusive doesn't have much time to get this damage in, so he needs to focus on... He needs to keep them moving. He can't fight this entire military, especially not with these Titans showing up. And a bunch of his Marauders are low HP now. But he decides to just leave him there. He's trying to kill the fusion. He gets it. Takes it out, but there's still 2 advanced fusion reactors. Well, there's 1. He took out 1 fusion reactor. There's still 1 left, and there's 1. Well, that's not going to be done for a while. Oh. Once again, Marauder run by. Not doing a whole lot for him. Sir Lucky moving his own powerful navy in. Meanwhile, Arajar is now bombing the... You see what I mean? Do you see what I mean here? If you wait too long, if you play tower defense, then when they show up with long-range capital ships, your towers don't mean anything anymore. Yeti needed to be producing units this whole time. Oh, now you're making a factory. Oh, it's a little late for that. All that metal and energy spent to produce things that didn't do a single thing for him. Another Marauder run. Even bigger than the last one, because I guess just making... Well, if it didn't work the first time, just do it again, but send twice as many units. They're taking a lot of fire from under the sea, but they should get by this with a decent force. However, problem, there's a massive army waiting for him as soon as he gets to shore. Like I said, Marauders, good unit for run-bys, not high DPS. They cannot tangle with most militaries. They do a huge amount of DPS for a amphibious unit, but they are not frontline. Communist just says what everybody's thinking. You're just throwing them in the trash. I completely agree. Scribble's a big freaking... True, he does need to be putting them through there. Of course, they don't see that they're... Well, that's an anti-air network. It's not even... There's actually... Oh, my. Was that a nuke or commander? That was a nuke. Somebody's dropping nukes to the front line. Hang on, let me erase that. Whoop. Down in the south, tower's still down. Angry blue team. Building a Calamity, which really need units right now, that is true. Mr. Elusive saying he needs to be building some units. Valiant says he's getting fucked up from the water. However, there's nobody here. I'm not sure what he means by that. I guess he means Arajar's bombardment Navy, but we got shots bouncing, just bouncing off the shields. The shields go down. Shields are starting to give way. Some of the shots are getting through now. I think all of the shots are getting through now. I mean, he will finish this in short order. I don't think it's going to change anything. It does have an enormous range, so he'll be able to put like a large-scale bombardment on the enemy approaching, or the center. Red team, I mean. How far do we got? 20 seconds until it's done. If they can hold the line, that is a lot of damage output. It's just not very accurate. Mr. Elusive. Now engaging the Razorbacks. Let me tell you who's going to win this battle. It's not going to be Elusive Marauders. 7 Razorbacks annihilating the Marauders like they weren't even there. The Calamity is done. Big hits, though. Artillery coming in from the sea. I mean, while it is good that he has this cannon up, it's not very accurate, and so I don't think it's really going to... You really need to focus that cannon on these Razorbacks. There's enough of a force here to kind of push him back. Plenty of tier 2 units. Doing a lot of damage to the Razorbacks, who are just going to ignore it and go straight to the south. And it looks like Yeti left the game. Libidium took over, giving him another way to fight. Oh, Libidium's actually taken a whole bunch. This game is pretty much over. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here, because I gotta say, this might be, you know, nothing against the players here. There were some players doing good things, but I will say that most people here were really not prepared to play a strong game. We're just going to go ahead and leave early, because it's a slow, painful death and nothing is happening. But that's the risk of playing low. It's the risk of playing a low rank game, you know. Sometimes you get something great because it's low rank players, so they're going to do crazy shit, but sometimes they don't know what to do at all. And so nothing really happens. But over here, that is not the case, as we have a rank 25 plus game currently set to flats and force. We don't have any time for no damn navies, okay? Navies, whack. Significant elevation changes, whack. It's just a big damn countryside, and we're going to see these several pro-level players, as well as other 25 plus players here, already. It was like watching a toddler smack a grown man on the knee a lot. I mean, it wasn't that one-sided, it was just Jakey leaving the game, which left the seas undefended. Yeti took over his players. Like, he took his base, which is great, but then he did nothing with the base. He just built 400,000 towers on the beach, and I'm assuming it's because he's watched, you know. Oh, hang on, let me get my camera up. There we go. I'm assuming it's because he's watched other. Actually, where should I put this? I'm not gonna have this on during the game because I want the game to be fully visible. But I'll put it up there. I need to hotkey this specifically. But building all those towers out there was a horrible error. That did absolutely nothing for his team at all. But let me tell you. You hear that? The whisper of the trees. soon. Soon that peaceful, relaxing sound will be replaced instead by the meditative cacophony of artillery fire. As trees are flattened, as grass blown into craters, we're about to watch a high-level, beyond all reason game. Now, if they know what's good for them, if we're going to get a good game out of this, we know what we need, because we've seen it before. We need the pros to actually be lined up with each other. That's what we need. We're going to wait for the... All players on the blue team have loaded in. Okay, they did not go with flats and forests. What is this map? I don't know that I think I may have played here before, but I don't think so. Star Watcher 1.0. We have a pretty symmetrical map. 2 lakes in the middle. Not going to be that important, but it is an ability to conceal units in there. Not going to see any hovercraft or anything built, because there's not enough of that needed. Got some high ground, but mostly flat area. These cliffs going to be really important for blocking radar as well. Trying to stay out of sight is going to be tough on this. Game starts in 2 minutes. Let's go. Are they lined up right? They also may be intentionally avoiding each other. That is possible that the pros are trying to line themselves up with. I wish that was kind of a rule of some kind. Like kind of an unspoken rule. Where we have all the pros lined up with the pros. Now on the left side, we've got the red team. We don't have, one of the players has not yet placed his commander. 2 players on the blue team have also not placed their commanders. Discussions taking place right now. Tactical discussions. Discussing tactical things. Now, Flash. The last player has placed on the red team. Let's skip straight to the introductions. On the red team, from top to bottom. For the frontline players, Emery in the orange, Repent in the brown, Trash Panda in the tan, Pro Randy in the pink. For the back line, top to bottom, 8D in the yellow, The Admiral in pink, Dave in the red, Rum Cola in the... Well, it's not pink. In the mauve. That's a mauve, right? On the other side, still have a blue player that hasn't placed. There he goes, he's down. Top to bottom in the front line for blue team. Kevin in the purple, Flash in the blue. Boater Friend in the, we'll call it yellow, even though it's not yellow. Bright green. Mom's Boy Toy is also bright green. These damn colors. Oh god, they started. I took too long. And Arcanian in the dark green. On the back line, top to bottom, Rise Heaven, Mom's Boy Toy, John Hunter, and JR EXP. Now, it looks like all of the resources are pretty even across most of the map, with the exception of all of the centrally located metal. So you have 1 in the far north, 1 in the south, and 2 over the middle ground that are worth more than double metal. Because all of the metal on this map is 1.9, the ones in the middle are worth 4.2. But there's a lot of extractor points on the map. And the more extractor points there are, the less important it is to take these middle ones and control the heavy output. Especially since by the time these middle ones become genuinely relevant, you're probably going to have the eco players producing for your team, so not as important. Should see the first scouts come out soon. Now, Flash is the professional on the blue team. He's playing a front line, while Dave, the professional for the red team, is playing a backline support role. Scouts are coming out across the field now. The Admiral. He's got 2 ticks. And the Flash has 2 ticks. Repent. Got a rover coming out, so he's doing vehicles. Spoder friend. Ticks. He's got a bot factory. Kevin. Rovers to the north. Emery does not have any scouts out yet. Does he have defenses? Does not have any static D. One thing that's generally recommended for newbies, just to normally build just one static D right here in the middle. Helps repel scouts. But if you're planning on leaving your commander in the middle of the base, see he's running these 2 units up here. So he should see these scouts, but he doesn't have any units fast enough. Could have free damage here. In the meantime, scout harassment against Flash. Nothing getting done on the right side of the map. Back to the left. Scout harassment, not successful at taking anything down. Successfully defended by Emery. Kevin retreats his scouts, but he's got 2 of the first units coming out. 2 blitz tanks. On the other side, Arcanian pushing out. First economic pushes. There's a lot of blue units on the red side right now. Very heavy harassment here. There's a lot of ticks running around, especially JR EXP. I'm gonna call him JR. JR's ticks. He's got a lot of them. They're gonna move in and just start taking out some of the eco here. Trash Panda already kind of getting jumped on. Although Dave has some of his scouts nearby to help cover it. In the bottom. Some scout jousting here going on between Rise and Pro Randy. No eco taken out. Blue's really taking the map. Pushing out large waves of scouts here. I mean, there's a solid 30 scouts on the map right now for blue team. Swarming around the middle. Trash Panda's commander is very far forward. Good jump on it. JR's gonna see that. He's not gonna go ahead and jump in. Trash Panda uses a D-gun. But up at the north, AT and Emery are pushing right up to the lane. Emery went straight for the 4.2. Important in the early game. Which I didn't think about because I haven't played this game in a while. Now in the bottom, Arcanian and JR. Tons of scouts here. Down at the bottom lane. Kevin pointing out a scout force. 8D coming across the map with 5 rovers. Spreads them out, but there's enough defenses here. Rise is there with his commander. 8D's gonna turn around and try to find another way, but Kevin's gonna be there already to stop it. Down in the bottom. Pink and light blue going at it with their scouts. No eco destroyed. Small amounts of salvage, maybe not even enough to worry about grabbing at this point in the game. Spoderfriend and Flash have taken the center of the map. We got a single pawn by Flash over here harassing 8D, who's going to have this sentry up pretty soon. Flash tries to plant his pawn at the top of this cliff. Emery's not having it. Flash is going to lose his spotter. Kevin and Emery up at the north. Now, importantly, Emery already has that forward metal extractor. Dave already has 47 metal production. Oh, he was reclaiming something. Never mind. I was about to say, that's insane. JR running in. He's going to try and jump on Trash Panda's commander. I don't know that there's enough of a tick swarm here. Trash Panda's commander goes down to half health, but he does repel it. Got a, down at the south, Arcanian. Setting up a defensive line in the green against Pro Randy. John Hunter. Currently making use of the lake and the natural cliffs guarding the lake. Up at the north, Kevin and Emery. Charging in is Kevin with some tanks and some rocket launchers. Not really getting anything done here, though. Forced to back off. Meanwhile, Emery's static D and rocket bots really making it work here. Got a tank run by. Repent ran into Flash's base. Did a little damage, took out a metal extractor, but no significant damage. Still not bad value for 2 tanks, especially with as many enemy units as were there to stop the run by. 8D runs clear past Rise Heaven, and we have another tank run by coming in. 3 blitz tanks by 8D coming in, canceling that mix. They're going to run straight into a whole bunch of tier 1 units, though. I don't know how much more they're going to get done with this. In the meantime, up at the north, Kevin and Emery continuing the battle. Mostly just jousting with rockets at the moment is Emery. Down in the south, Arcanian. A solid pawn force. Maybe even enough to do some damage here. He's going to run forward with his Rocketeers. Launch some rockets out. Test defenses. Yeah, at the center. Trash Panda, Repent, and the Admiral on the red team facing off against Flash and Spoder Friend. Static D being built. Blue has 3 of the middle extractors. Emery has the one in the north. We've got a tank by 8D. Calling out to Kevin, letting him know that there's a unit there. There's nothing to stop it. If Rise Heaven was paying attention, he could get some Static D up to stop this, but he won't. And so he's just running. Is this solo tank going to actually go in and do huge damage? Nope. Here comes a Jaguar. A lightning tank's going to come in and shut this down. He almost reached that wind farm. That would have been bad. Flash and Repent. Repent dishing out pain with some of this artillery. Flash doing lots of resurrection. He's got lots of units with a little halo over their head. That means they were resurrected at some point. Down at the south, Arcanian. Big tick swarm by JR EXP. They're going to run in. Arcanian moves his line forward. JR just going to run the whole tick swarm in. That's a big swarm and there's not a lot of army to stop it. They're just running straight through the entire economy here of Pro Randy. They can't reach the main base or it's going to be trouble. There's nobody to stop it though. Oh, here they come. Gunships. Rumcola's gunships are coming in. Some rovers by Pro Randy coming in. Do intercept it, but there's still a lot of ticks left over. They're getting damage done. They're putting the work in. There's just not enough DPS to put these ticks down yet. The gunships are coming in. There's 4 gunships. They will they'll clean up the ticks, but that was quite a lot of damage done. Meanwhile, Arcanian ran Pro Randy's entire emplacement over. And a commander drop. Meanwhile, up at the north, Emery's still holding strong against Kevin, and at the center, Flash and Spoder Friend making no significant moves. Best to just hold. If you know that there's a lane that's really breaking through, the last thing you want to do is lose your position and put the entire attack in jeopardy. Arcanian and John Hunter completely ran over the entire south. Trash Panda now having to defend on 2 fronts. And by defend, I mean lose the entire front line, because there is not enough defenses here. Spoder could just run units in with as few lasers as there. Trash Panda retreats his commander. Flash, now's the time to attack. He's going to try and put damage. Looks out for defenses, sees what's there, decides to back off. There's some tier 2 units already present. Those hounds can put out a lot of damage on attacking forces. Great defensive unit. Spoder is slowly grinding away at the rest of Trash Panda's front base. Repent and Admiral still have decent defensive emplacements here, enough to hold Flashback. And Emery's holding Kevin back at the far north, but Rise has quite a significant force of pawns here. Another tick swarm here by JR, if it's working. Should be repelled by Trash Panda, however. Who's putting in D-Gun here. Trash Panda forced to move his tanks out. But these are only blitz tanks. These are not high DPS tanks. Actual combat units really necessary here. And a commander goes down. That's Trash. No, not Trash Panda. Whose commander went down? Not sure whose commander that is. By the way, Trash Panda lost a lot of his units there. He's now producing more proper combat units, stout tanks coming in. But he doesn't have enough to really hold. Spoder's trying to put pressure on Red Line, down at the center. But Repent, there with his tanks, able to block it off. Arcanian has moved forward, completely in command of the south, however. Randy is there. Not with a huge force, but it's enough to at least put a stop to Arcanian for now, but not for long. Up at the north. Emery and Kevin simply just standing off with each other at the moment. However, Emery has a significant rocket force, so he's able to do some damage. Outranging all of Kevin's units at the moment. Kevin not in a great place, but Rise Heaven, if Emery pushes deep enough, Rise Heaven could just run in, do a ton of damage to the approaching force from the flank. Trash Panda pushing back against Spoder. Taking his tanks out. Not a lot of defenses there, though. So John Hunter gonna move in with his rocket bots. Trash Panda wisely pulls back. Far south, Arcanian. Now engaged in direct battle with, looks like Pro Randy. Pro Randy trying to support Trash Panda up to the north, as well as repelling Arcanian to the south. He has to hold south. Trash Panda can probably hold that area. I think Pro Randy needs to devote all of his forces to the south at the moment. Make sure that there's no split here. He has no static defense, but he does have air. Or whose air is that, actually? Rum Cola has air in that area. But Rum giving him the air support. Up to the north, Emery doing a good job being patient. Not wanting to push too far in. If he pushes in, Rise Heaven can collapse on him. Meanwhile, Flash, unable to break the Admiral or Repent. Spoder, though, has made progress. Repent won't be able to hold there for much longer with Spoder's encroachment. Dave is going to move in now. A whole bunch of hounds is going to come in, get the flank. Going to do serious damage here. What is JR doing exactly? As he is just mass-producing well. Bit of a bizarre decision here. He's just producing ticks out of two different factories. And he doesn't even have the resources to do it. He should probably just be focusing on getting the advanced metal extractor done and ecoing up right now. At this point in the game, the ticks aren't really going to be doing anything. Unless you're mass-producing them at a crazy rate. At the bottom, Arcanian's actually been pushed back a bit by Pro Randy. But we have stealth tanks. Gremlin. 4 gremlins. Mom's boy toys moving in. He's also got Arcanian has a beholder placed over here. Beholder is a stealth camera. It has a low line of sight, but it does give you perfect vision in a small area, and it's cloaked by default. Up at the north, Rise Heaven. Tired of Emery's bullshit. Gonna go ahead and push in. There's a big enough army to do it. Him and Kevin should be able to break the north. Emery will have nothing left. AT's gonna have to move his units in just to do something about this. To the south, Pro Randy. Altogether oh, we have a pause. Emery has desynced. Oh. I hope that's not why he actually lost that battle. That would suck. Everybody pointing out the amusement here. 4 stealth tanks. Right at the bottom. Going right for that rear. Now here's the thing. Rumcole's commander's there. So if he reacts quickly, he could deal with it. Gremlins don't have a lot of damage. Their whole thing is being undetectable. Game resumes. Emery is in a bad... Oh, never mind. We pause again. There he goes. He's reconnecting now. Trash Panda. Plenty of stouts here. Trash Panda says he's not really doing too hot to his team, but Spoder amusingly says, if Crash Panda pushes, he's probably dead. Which I would say, at the moment, I don't know. That's a lot of beamers. These stouts are going to take some damage for sure on the approach. He might wipe out just this front. I don't think he can push all the way through all of the static. What do they see right now? Let's see what the players actually see. So, on the blue team, right now, they're aware of the defensive emplacements. They're pretty much certain that Emery is dead. And they have radar on these. So Flash, Spoder correct in telling Flash that this looks like an easy kill. Flash should be able to just run in if you really wanted to. Wipe out the rest of those defenses, though it may not be worth it right now. Arcanian says, I'll have 10 hounds here to push him in 30 seconds. Where are they exactly? He has 3 hounds over here at the moment. Let's see what Red sees. Do they see the tanks? Of course they don't see the tanks. They have no idea that these stealth tanks are getting into the back line. They should be aware that Emery's about to go down, but they have precious little vision on the center. They do have radar of Spoders, but not a Flash. Flash is currently completely out of their radar range at the moment. And they are unaware of what type of units Arcanian is beginning to mass at the bottom. I'd kill to be a dumb grunt here. You mean like playing an FPS mode? Dude, I wish. I really hope that they do that at some point. Bring that back. Because I have to see that. I mean, this is what it would look like, but for the most part, this is about the height. So, you would be at roughly this height if you were a grunt. You'd be a little bit lower, and you would have like a cockpit view. And, you know, just running across this battlefield. Ah, that'd be so cool. I would love that. I really hope they bring back the FPS mode. You don't even have to clean it up. I just want it. I just want it re-implemented. I just want the experimental shit. It would be really fun to have that. Network smoothing. Don't worry about me. I'm just looking at the Emery's back. Somebody else left though. He says, kill this. Now Repent is left. Did he leave the game or is he trying to reconnect? Further, where are Repent's units right now? Repent is the brown player here. I would say, and it looks like they are going. No? I'm not sure why Repent left. Tell an admiral to go ahead and just take Repent's stuff. So it looks like Repent simply left the game. Admiral will take it. That'll give him 2 base production here. And he can focus the defenses wherever he wants. This could be good for them, actually. But we'll see. Game resumes. Admiral has taken over Repent's forces, now has 2 base production, as well as being able to unify the coordination of the defenses. In the meantime, the moment we've all been waiting for, those stealth tanks beginning to encroach. That's so many solar farms. There are so many solar farms, and they're all right next to each other. That's a chain reaction waiting to happen. Now, right now, he's not attacking. He's just moving his stealth in there. He's looking for the ideal target. He's got his units on hold position right now. They will not fire right away. We'll keep an eye on that while we look and see what's happening. Elsewhere, Arcanian pushing to the south. Pro Randy, not in a great position here. Up at the north, Emery successfully fighting back against Kevin and Rise. 8D's support. Really helping him there. could be going for Dave. Does anybody see him? I don't think anybody sees him yet. They are not aware of this. We got 4 of these tanks now. They don't have high DPS, 87 DPS. But 4 tanks is enough to one-shot and start a chain reaction on solar farms. Here we go. Is he just gonna get vision? Or is he just gonna ride by? He's gonna get vision, he's gonna keep looking for an ideal target. Back to the south. He's gonna break them off. He's breaking them in half. He's gonna hit these, I assume the solar farms. He is just holding them there right now. He's gonna wait until they're in position. In the bottom, Arcanian. Crash Panda successfully pushed John Hunter back. And the Admiral successfully coordinated his defenses, now being able to control Repent's forces. Up at the top. He probably should just attack soon, but I guess he's doesn't really need to be in any hurry, since they haven't spotted him yet. Up at the top, 8D and Emery. 8D is about to get 8 Ds up in his eco. That was terrible. And the shots fired. Something went down. Is he going to command the other ones to attack? Not yet. I'm not sure why he fired at that, but 8D is now searching. And they're open. And that's it. And we're going to start seeing some chain reactions here. They have a lot of damage output per shot, but not a lot of health. He really doesn't get a lot done with that. Not good. But Dave is going to come in and get hit. Now it's his turn to get stealth attacked. There goes a lot of his build power. He's targeting the construction turrets specifically. Probably a good move. Good target these next. Oh, it looks like Dave has built them at a spacing, so they're not going to chain reaction hard, but they will chain a little bit. A sizable damage. Decent for 4 units, but they are expensive and slow. Now that Dave and 18 know that that's happening, probably built some kind of countermeasure at this point. He recloaks them and just moves out. Dave is trying to alert them. Is he just attacking ground? No, Rumcola has spotted them, so they've... Okay, all of the stealth tanks have been destroyed. Okay damage, but not great. In the bottom, Arcanian trying to push up the cliff here. Well, Randy's just going to go straight south. He's got bull heavy tanks. But Arcanian wants to take the high ground. I don't know if it's worth it. His units are kind of vulnerable here. He's going to lose several just going up the cliff. But being up on the cliff will protect him from fire from below and give him a huge range boost. So he's going to start firing down on Pro Randy now. He lost a few hounds going up, but now that he's up there, doing a lot better. Once he actually got there, huge tick swarm. 98, 100, over 100 ticks now. With JR coming in. Kevin. Oh, it looks like Emery was completely run off this area. Kevin's coming in and attacking AD now. Scouts and light tanks coming across, and it looks like he might be able to kill the commander. He's going to come in with some units. Might be enough to actually kind of repel this. But in the bottom, the tick swarm coming. And when you got that many ticks, that's a huge amount of DPS. However, they get splashed. The explosion of the tower actually did a bunch of splash damage and killed the ticks. So 100 ticks, okay damage. They're not very expensive to produce, obviously. Up at the top. Emery now has a military rebuilt. He's going to push in. He's got some sprinters. Some raider bots. Are those tier 2s? Yeah, tier 2s. Tier 2 raiders coming in. These ticks not really going to do anything here. Blitz tanks also. Not a lot of DPS. 8D getting a force built behind Emery's line here. And an airstrike. Here we go. Or are those are fighters? Yeah, they just sent the fighters in. But for why? I don't know how much that did. They just kind of die. I'm not sure what the point of that was. They weren't gunships. JR. Down at the bottom. Moving a sharpshooter sniper bot into position supported by an absolute legion of ticks. A single sharpshooter. He's ready. He's got his army. JR just having a good time in chat right now. The Admiral able to successfully hold now that he had control of the two bases. In a good position here. Wait a second, Mom's boy toy has a radar sonar plane landed behind enemy lines. What kind of vision does he have? Total vision, pretty much. He has total vision of the base, which means he can spot for nukes. That might be what he's doing. Hang on, who has nukes? This is Blue's vision. He does have it, so yeah, this is a bad position. Does he have nukes built? Where is the launcher? Surely there's one. There's an anti-nuke system. Looks like there's no... I see anti-nukes, I don't see nukes built yet. Back at front, we've got Marauders on the field. Those lightweight tier 3 mechs going in and getting kind of waffle stopped here. Not really putting out a whole bunch of damage. A little bit vulnerable to the tick spam. Most of the ticks go down though. Meanwhile, John Hunter with his welders coming in from the south. At middle, Flash and the Admiral engaging in some battle here. It's a hound fight, but if it's just hounds versus hounds, then whoever has the numbers is going to get the victory, and Flash has the numbers. Big attack, huge attack swarm at the north. Kevin's coming in with a whole bunch of ticks, several lightning tanks. Supported by Rise Heaven, bringing in some spider artillery. Somebody's gone down. That's a commander dead. Looks like 8D's commander bought it. Or it could be Emery, actually. Yep, that was 8D. I think Emery's commander's already dead, actually. Yep, died earlier at the front. And now the tick span just coming in. There's nothing to stop these ticks. So they're just doing drive-bys right now. 8D's base basically gone. In the bottom. Tick spam over here. JR running in, undefended reclamation bots for Pro Randy. AD's pretty much wiped off the map. Leaving Kevin to just tick spam straight into Emery's base. There's no static D to stop this. Emery is making snipers against ticks. I don't think I have to tell you why that's a bad idea. But if you're not familiar with the game, ticks very low health and you can make many of them. Snipers very low fire rate. Which means that they do a lot of damage. Look at this tick, he's maximum rank. This tick is max rank right now. He actually has several ranked up ticks. They're finally going down, but ranked up ticks do a lot of damage for their cost. So that's fucking crazy that he actually had promoted ticks. In the meantime, down to the south, Pro Randy doing his best to try and hold against Arcanian. Arcanian's got sniper bots at the front, plus trying to defend himself against JR's tick spam. So far doing so successfully. However, something just blew up one of his turrets. I'm not sure what though. Dave. I'm still waiting for a nuke. I don't know that it'll be necessary. Red's kind of collapsing a little bit here. There's still quite a lot of red forces. 8D is stabilized. Emery, protected, should be able to rebuild now. He's got a lot to reclaim, so in terms of metal production, he'll be good for a little while. So I'm waiting for the nuke to be kind of the killing blow. There's an experimental gantry going up. Can't remember what the nuke icon looks like, so I'm just trying to look for it right now. There's a Juno in place, and an anti-nuke. Juno being fired off. Not really relevant against, because it's not like red team is tick spamming at the moment. I don't see any nukes. I could be wrong, but I don't see any nuclear launchers at this time. Which is a damn shame, because... Never mind. At some point, that plane was taken out, so never mind. I am an idiot. I said dumb things. We continue. They've kind of stabilized. They do have a proper defensive line for the most part, although the Admiral's kind of collapsing at the moment. Not much you can do when he rolls up with 5 Starlights and just starts tachyon beaming all of your static from long distance. What was... I don't remember what the hotkey... Hang on, sorry. Yeah, okay. Yes. Got Razorbacks at the middle by Flash. Somebody tried to run in with a camouflaged commander, maybe degun some of this tier 3 units, but all these Marauders, Razorbacks for Flash. There's a couple of Razorbacks. There's 3 Razorbacks for Dave. That's not going to be enough firepower, however. Oh shit! Did not mean to do that. Push through the middle from Flash, completely crippling the Admiral. Up in the north, Emery's base just getting run straight through. Kevin's going straight for Yellow's base with several lightning tanks. He's gonna get in there. There's some talk in the chat about potentially an overpowered unit. I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about. Bro, Randy's gonna call GG. Only 3 players left for the red team. I'm actually happy that we got to see a I'm happy that we got to see a stealth tank run by. And that is the end. GG, blue team, good game. That brings that game to an end, of course. Doesn't mean it's necessarily over. Let's check the battle list. Do we have anything else happening right now? We've got some 6v6. 25 plus games still ready to go, though. So of course, if they're still ready, I'm still ready. We'll go again. Now the question is, where to next? What map shall we engage in next? Now they were talking about, I believe, Janus or whatever. It might be a shorthand name for something. Let me look. See if I can identify which unit they were talking about. I think it was a tier 1 vehicle. Now here we go. The tier 1 Armada rocket vehicle. They were talking about it being currently OP. I don't know how valuable that is in terms of criticism. I would need to actually read it. What are we looking at? Thanks for watching so far, guys. Appreciate you. I'll be going for, I got another hour and a half, 2 hours until I'll be popping off. So plenty of time left, at least for a couple of matches. Schedule will be coming up soon, as well as more streams in general, since I'll be trying to stream at least a little bit every day. For my random streams, I don't know. Right now, I'm leaning towards playing RTS. I don't know that I'll play Beyond All Reason all the time, because I really would like to mix it up. But there are plenty of games I like playing. I like playing Diplomacy is not an option. I love StarCraft 2. I've been really wanting to play the campaign lately, so I kind of want to. I might do that on stream. Of course, there's always Beyond All Reason. There's Wave Defense. I do love playing the defense mode. It is a lot of fun. As far as ways to support the channel right now, just share it around. Share it around and let people know it exists. Let's get this follower count up. You can find me on YouTube and here, but I will be changing my name soon, and it'll be unified across all platforms. So, that way. Hang on a sec. Excuse me. One moment. Let's see. Beyond All Reason. Let's see. I remember someone saying that it was on, like, the Git FPS mode. I know they took it out of the game, but maybe there's a way to kind of re-implement that feature. Either way, I don't even care if it's unbalanced, and I know that was the reason they took it out, was because it was originally a default way to play the game. That you could just jump in and play from a first-person perspective. But because you were able to do things the AI wasn't, like look up, like fire directly up and everything. Of course, there's ways to control that. And it might be something where they, like, the tech is there, so surely, I don't know, I really want it. I need it. I need it. I have to have it. I want to control a Razorback and just stomp across the battlefield as a Titan, putting that beam laser to work. Love to see it. Two players right now waiting on Team 1 to ready up. They might be doing Star Watcher again. Looks like it's going to be Star Watcher. Oh, there's a vote for next map. So we're going to get to see. They might just play Star Watcher again. I don't really mind. It's a good map. Pretty good map. Wouldn't mind something a little bit more asymmetrical, though. I would love to see games play it like I would love to see a sort of Fortress type game, right? Where you got one team that's up on a big hill and has more resources, but there's fewer of them. And then you have a whole bunch of players on the other side that have to push up. Mariposa Island. Interesting. I have not played or casted a game here. So, I hope they actually go ahead and play this. Still 2 players on Team 1 that have not readied up yet. Never mind, they're changing it again. Deep Loria Fields now the selected map. Looks like a very heavy naval map. In fact, it looks like a pure naval map. Oh, look. Okay, they started a vote, changing the map to River Run as the vote. I know a lot of people do not really care for River Run. I expect the reason for that is just because honestly, I don't know. I guess I'd have to watch because I haven't played a match there, so I'd have to watch and find out kind of what the troubles are with this map. Super Hottie in chat says in the game chat says interesting map but hard to play. So now they're looking at just kicking the inactive players here. The troubles, I'm afraid. Is there no menu music? Because it's off. That's why. There we go. Fix that. Turn the font size up that way. It's a little easier for you guys to read if you want to read the chat in the game. Got another one. About to get kicked. Not paying attention. It's alright. Plenty of spectators on standby. I'm sure some of these guys are actually in line to play. Somebody voted no. We'll get kicked. Teams get rebalanced out. Currently 7v7. Got an 8th player on team 2. Should have an 8th player on team 1, and we'll be able to get on that. Indecisive fools, he says. It's all right. I don't think it's indecision. I just think maybe they were away from their computer. More than likely. Apparently, there's a bunch of players in queue though, act like actually queued to play. So we'll see. When you're in the queue, you actually sit in the spectator room until the game is ready for you. Get the other chat up. Now we have 2 chat windows. We have the general chat, games general chat, and then we have the lobby chat down in the bottom left. A 9th player, for some reason, has jumped onto Team 2, been auto-balanced, auto-balanced in. Good to go, just need Claret at rank 61. That is actually true, I didn't think about that. I'm not sure what the new professional rank is, quote-unquote. But it's probably somewhere near 61. It used to be like 40 to 45 was considered top, so it might be 61 is now considered. Like 50 plus is probably considered pro level. But we have a rank 61 player in this game. By comparison, Dave has actually played and I think been a finalist, maybe even a champion in tournaments before. And he's rank, I think, 45, something like that. So we have a god tier, a player in this match apparently. Now I've seen River Run get selected many times, and be voted to change many times. So I've never gotten to watch a game, I don't think, at River Run. So I'm excited to see what makes this map hard. So let's look at it. So there are a lot of elevation changes. Similar to the last map, there's these nice Celtic cliffs, the very pretty blue rocks. Very nice to look at. The rivers will do a few different things. So it'll slow down your vehicles if you're going across it. Bots, however, will have a bit of an easier time. So things like artillery might even be more dangerous on a map like this because it might be easy to get your units trapped. You also can't build static defenses or anything, I don't think, in water unless it's the ocean or water buildings. Let's introduce the players with 90 seconds remaining until the game begins. On the right side of the map, to the east, we have blue team. Our frontline players, Zekris, Arcanian, Olyaraki, and Contra. And on the rear line, Kevin, the Admiral, Rumcola, and Clear It. On the red team, there's one commander that hasn't placed. It's Rise Heaven has not placed his commander yet. Dave's actually going to start far forward. He's going to start on the cliff. Olyaraki will also start on the cliff. In the back line is Emery, Raiko, Hemorrhoid, and 8D. And in the front line, Super Hottie, Dave, Screwish, and presumably Rise Heaven. Screwish is starting in, and I can kind of see why people don't like, because like where do you start here? Where do you choose to start? Clear It saying he's gonna make 8 blitz tanks, try to gank somebody, and then tech up. That is true though. It's kind of tough to figure out where you're gonna start the match. Now that I'm looking at how it's laid out, Screwish is gonna be far forward. Him and Dave both. It's kind of neat because it's like this is exactly what I was hoping for. The map is symmetrical. However, you end up with asymmetrical starts. Because it's kind of tough to choose exactly who's going to start where. So I'm really looking forward to how this game plays out. And we begin. Now, calm before the storm. The vibrant fish-filled rivers, the Celtic hills, the trees rustling in the wind, about to be stomped into the dirt, fish evaporated out of the river, as unholy war will be made upon this ancient land. Now, as far as general rank, although Clear It is the most powerful player on his team by far, Dave and Raiko and 8D provide a more balanced skill range. A lot of coordination here to make sure that nobody's choosing resources that another player would rather have. We got the first scouts going out. 8D up in the north, in the orange, moving a squad, 5 rovers on the field at the moment. Olyaraki, some ticks at center, near center I mean. Arcanian has decided to jump straight to combat. He's got some bots already. AT's going to be the first one to make a real move here. Moving across the map to the north. Zekris, Kevin, going to be the ones that have to stand and fight. They don't see him yet. They will just now see the ticks moving across. Or the rovers. So the scouts just move. Interesting there. Interesting. If they're deep enough in the river, they actually won't be picked up by radar. You would need sonar to see at that point. So you got... There's interesting potential here. Now the rovers move in. Do basically nothing. Kevin and Zekris well prepared to deal with that. 8D gets nothing done there. But try again, go around another direction. He's got 6 more rovers going down to the south of Zekris' base. Meanwhile, Dave moving right across the center here. Got his commander. He's already got some combat units. Got grunts. Down on the bottom, Gruish. He's going to be skirmishing a little bit with Arcanian here because they both have combat units at front. Both are rockin' bots. Pawns versus grunts. The pawns will be a little faster, but they won't have the range advantage grunts have. Some combat here. Dave fighting against Holuraki, outnumbered at the moment, decides to pull his grunts back. Holuraki's pawns holding the line. He feels good enough to start building mexes at the front. Something's exploded over here. Whoa! A big run by. Kevin drove right in with the Rovers and wiped out Zekris' early base. Still has a factory. Took out all of his energy production. Zekris now the lowest energy production on the team at the moment. Good move there. Wait, did I say Kevin earlier? I did say Kevin earlier. Somebody moved in and did a bunch of damage, is what I'm trying to get across. Okay. Over here, we've got Screwish and Arcadian building fucking static right in front of each other. In range of each other. They are barely out of the range of each other's turrets. This is as close as they can get. Arcadian's going to immediately try and build another turret. These units might be in range of this turret. They are. They're going to start getting picked off. Arcadian point blank jousting with those turrets right there. Up at the north, Super Hottie and Kevin. 1v1ing at the middle. Or top, I mean. Zekris and 8D. Zekris and Hemorrhoid, actually. 8D just ran by. 3 blitz tanks. Here's that. Here's the gank. Clear it. With 8 blitz tanks in position. That's a lot of damage output. Run in, do a whole bunch of pain to an economy, and then just leave. In the middle, we have some combat going on. Dave duking it out with Rum Cola. A little bit of damage being exchanged between them. No big losses, but Dave is just going to walk by. So he's got 5 grunts. With 5 kills between them. Going up. Raiko and Holuraki. I can see why this is a hard map to play on. There's a lot of terrain to consider here. Now Dave is going to encounter these rocket bots, get picked out by some scouts. Admiral's going to come in, de-gun 2 of them. That attack's basically shut down. Zekris going to jump on top of 8D's tank. In the bottom, here comes the gank. Clear it. Got in with the blitzes. Doing massive damage. No defenses back here. At all. Whatsoever. Screwish trying to move his commander in. He'll lose the whole base. Everything is dead. So clear it. Successfully ganked the hell out of Screwish, who needs to start immediately rebuilding. Screwish is low on metal. He'll need to reclaim first, probably. He says, Ark, your guys are dead. Screwish has nothing to fight with now. He'll need to rebuild from scratch. He does have some combat units, but not a whole lot. He's currently spacing them out to defend. However, there is not nearly enough to stop a full-blown attack here. Arcanian's going to move in. Commander starts building new static D. Gonna get radar up. He's got radar. Now he has vision. He can see where the enemy is. Emery is gonna need to move in and help Screwish, I think. But Rise Heaven is there to back him up. I don't know. Ark probably could have moved in a lot more aggressively here. I think he waited a little too long. Screwish and Rise Heaven now in a good position. Kevin says lagging. They're gonna go ahead and pause. Looks like he's caught up. Game resumes. Holuraki and Raiko. Oh, up here. De-gunning static defense. Commander, frontline combat unit for Holuraki. With the tanks. He's got some stouts. He's got some pawns. Balanced force here. Gonna run in and kill Raiko's turret. But Raiko's got quite a few grunts. Can definitely fight the pawns off if they're out there alone too much. Dave. Up to Raiko's north in the red, in a good position to come in and, well, not in a good position to come in to help. Right across the river, Rum Cola. Giving him something to think about. Down in the south, Emery in a bad position here. He's going to run some pawns in. Got combat units. He needs to just go ahead and retreat from here, I think. He's going to pull his commander back. Getting 2v1'd by Contra and clear it. Clear it, asks for a repair on the tanks. Contra comes in, gives him the repair. clear. It's good to go again. He's going to try and gank someone else, looks like. Scrooge still basically dead. He has rebuilt metal. Doesn't have a lot of energy production right now. Needs to get back on that as soon as possible. Hard to think about that when you're being attacked, though, so I understand. Up the top, what's been going on up here? Kevin and Super Hottie. Plasma bots. Plasma bots versus rockets going at. Yeah, those overpowered Janus are really coming in handy here, I guess. And by overpowered, I mean, like, not really doing anything at the moment. They do have a long range, I will say. I mean, they outrange... Well, they don't. They have the same range as the mace. Super Hottie and Kevin pretty much even at the middle, or at the top, I mean. Dave and Raiko fighting Holy Rocky and Rum Cola, holding strong there. Arcanian fighting both Screwish and Rise Heaven. Screwish still with not enough of a military to really speak of. Rise really backing him up now. He's starting to rebuild his construction tower. He's got a construction bot working on some wind power, so he should be back in the game, but he will need some time still. In the meantime, at the bottom, Contra and Clear It. Giving Emery a hard time, but Emery's got a decent military built up here. But it is only pawns. They will get absolutely eviscerated by these thugs in concentrated fire. Contra's just going to walk his bots in and just start doing damage. That's a lot of DPS. A bunch of hits on Emery's commander. Oh, he could jump it. He could jump that commander. Big Ping's going up to the north. Kevin has overrun Super Hottie's position. Contra trying to push in. He could easily get the commander kill here. Emery's going to pull in. He stops. He stops his commander. It takes another couple of shots, but commander's still alive. Emery needs to keep that commander moving. He is... There you go. Needs to pull back. Just keep him moving. Pull him completely back. Arcanian says 2v1. Finally getting overwhelmed here. Screwish is rebuilt and is starting to produce more. Pushed out. Back up the hill. At center. Lyco and Dave. Really containing the blue team at center. At the bottom, Contra is running Emery over at the moment. In fact, is that a commander kill? Where did Emery's commander go? There it is. So his commander did go down. Meanwhile, here at the center, tank shots being traded across the river. Slows you down, and if the tanks get deep enough, they can't fire as well. But looks like they're able to get through this pretty fine, actually. Medium assault tanks pushing across the river. Dave and Raiko have a strong position here, but it's not indestructible. Uncola trying to call out for help. He has to retreat. Not enough to fight with anymore. At the north, Kevin has pushed all the way to the corner. Super Hottie is simply dead. Is producing some res bots. Really nothing else to speak of. 8D having to produce bots now just to fight. Try and keep his side of the base safe. 8D's forward base really not in any position. They may not actually be able to see that he's up there. Hang on. Do they know he's there? So they can see that he's up there. They're just not dealing with him yet. At the bottom, Contra now holding across the river. At the center, Holyaraki was doing a good job earlier, but slowly been pushed off by the combined forces of Dave and Raiko. Rum Cola, unable to really support at the moment. He's got Maces coming in. Mace is a good unit, but I think he should be making up a little bit of a mix here to increase production. Maybe 2 pawns per mace. That's normally one of my favorite ways to do it. That way you have a little bit of a heavy hitter that can kind of anchor your pawn force. Clear calling for radar. How much vision do they actually have? Pretty decent radar coverage at the moment. On the other side, same story. Good radar coverage, good vision for both sides. No obvious gaps in what players can see at the moment. Arcanian. Contra may have beaten Emery back, but Emery has rebuilt sizable defensive emplacements down in the south now. Meanwhile, Gruish. Gruish and Rives has really pushed Arcanian back. There's nothing here to really stop. Oh, Rives tried to go around the mountain to flank. Arcanian ran into Contra's forces. We got a commander dead at center. And Raiko's commander has perished. Got caught out by Holy Iraqi's forces, it looks like. Mkola gonna jump on the commander. He's got a bunch of maces here. That's a lot of damage output. Davis needs to back his commander off, bring his forces in. Since he can't reinforce Raiko, Holy Iraqi successfully pushing him back, but he doesn't have much military left. So he's gonna need to rebuild quickly, or Raiko will have enough to push him out. For now, Rumcola and Holy Iraqi at middle have stabilized. Arcanian was pushed back, but is currently defending ably. Battle lines have been kind of redrawn here. Somehow, Super Hottie is not dead. 8D was able to push, presumably, and get Kevin out of the corner of the map, allowing Super Hottie to rebuild. Not much metal production for Hottie. However, there are Super Hottie units on the field, and that's more than there were previously. Down at the bottom, Screwish overextending a bit. Lost too much of his military here. Arcanian is completely stable at the middle because of that. Arcanian's gonna put a radar right at the front. He's got Hounds, tier 2 units at the front for Arcanian here. He's got the radar. He's gonna build 2 radars for some reason, I guess. And there's a constructor. Uh-oh, got you. Lyrit sharing a tier 2 constructor to Rumcola. Also sharing 2 units of Contra. I assume 2 more tier 2 constructors. They'll be able to start making tier 2 themselves soon. Gavin, hanging the map right now. AT says GG. I don't think the fight's over, but it's not looking good, but it's not over yet. But we do have some tier 2 units, lightning tanks coming in. Nothing really on 8D's side here that can stop this. They're just going to run these units completely the hell over. Alright, maybe he was right. GG indeed. As these Jaguars will clear through his army. And he doesn't actually have a lot of military. He does have good income, but not good production at the moment. It looks like he's putting a lot of energy into rebuilding, or into building a fusion reactor. He does have tier 2 units produced, though. His own Jaguars coming to the front. He'll be able to fight it off, but Super Hottie did devote their forces to the south, which leaves the base open. Kevin can just walk back into the center, to the area of the map that he had to have been forced to leave earlier. Now at the middle, Dave and Raiko have done a whole bunch of damage. A big run by. I see. He brought in the Fiends. Those fast assault flamethrowers coming in, doing all kinds of damage at some point. Holy Iraqi's commander also went down. Rumcola's at the front. Henry saying GG tier 2. Rise Heaven saying this ain't great. Maybe took us a little too long. Super Hottie. Look, it's alright. You did alright. There's not much you can do when you get wiped out. Unless 8D pulled a miracle play, you weren't coming back from that loss. Another commander dead at center. Now 4 commanders to 5. Who bit it? Looks like it was Dave. Lyrit came in with the tanks. Says when Contra wins, we win. And I think that's correct. Contra broke through the line. Emery, undefended, but for a few static emplacements. Gonna drop huge hits on these beamers. They're gonna go down very easily to these Hounds. And it's gonna be a big chain reaction. That's gonna be a lot of damage going in. All the energy converters gone. Metal production is gonna be completely gutted. And that base is out. Rise Heaven. Nothing to fight this with. He'll lose his entire eco. And all of the eco he was transferring. That's actually huge. Rise was sharing a lot of resources. That's a lot of resources gone. He still has base to the north here, but it's a lot of Hounds. They're coming in. They're coming in. He moved a whole bunch of units. He had whatever units he had, he moved in. But that is not enough. There is not enough here. Those hounds going to come in and beat up the rest of Ryze's base. If blue holds everywhere else, this kind of damage is going to end it. Even more units coming across the map. If he wanted to, his southern army could cut straight across and hit Screwish right now. But he's focusing them down on Ryze. There's still a commander over here. No, commander's dead. It's just a run-by. The mop-up force comes in the south. Ryze Heaven, annihilated. Contra's hounds head further north. Raiko's next. And he may not... Does he know it? Does he see them coming? He doesn't. He may not know they're coming straight for him, but he does now. Huge hits. He's got some shuriken. They're putting up some stuns here that will limit the DPS, but there's not enough shurikens to stop this. The damage is going to keep coming. Oh, that's actually enough. Is he actually going to stun the whole army? They can't keep all of them stunned, but they can keep most of them stunned. So that will limit the damage, but he doesn't have anything else to respond with. In the meantime, Ryze was wiped out. And even if they're stunned, Contra's got more force coming in from his main army south. Arcanian able to come in, wipe it out. Arcanian and clear it. Pushing in towards the north now. The line has completely collapsed in the south for red. There is almost no red team presence. And we've got big-ass bombers coming in. Heavy strategic bombers going straight in through. Admiral with 3 bombers coming in. Big hits. 8D is about to get this is about to be nasty. Big bombs. Not great distribution, though. Not a lot of damage. Not that it matters. There's a huge combined arms military coming right across the south. Although red is currently dying to air, they did not die to air. A good game. Very enjoyable. I can see why this map is not liked by a lot of, especially lower ranking players. This is a tough map. This feels like a very difficult map. Dave, destroying enemy resource production, but Contra, efficient use of resources. Got the award for destroying enemy units and defenses. Here we have here the top 8 players here. I don't know why it's showing all of these. Is it showing all the spectators too? That's weird. Clear it though. 61 kills per minute. Or is that kills per minute? I actually have no idea. That's why I should just keep my fucking mouth shut. Let's look for units killed, and so let's see who's cleared with that early gank showing up there. Not really doing a whole lot of damage until the end, though. Of course, once it had all cleared out. Clearit's early harassment was pretty pivotal. That was good. Oh, no, I don't want to quit. Completely. There we go, statistics. Yes, here we go. Clearit and Contra's efficiency, crazy efficient. That is crazy. 249 units killed for only 80 units lost for Contra. Very good, very good. A lot of excess energy being produced. The Admiral doing a great job there producing energy. Probably the main, him and Clearit, both the main eco players for the team. Did good. Good game for Blue. Impressive work. You know, I haven't used the TV command. I should do that. I should try that command and see what happens. Do I? Oh wait, do I hit quit? I don't normally stay to watch the statistics. So, I guess I just hit quit. Or is that going to quit me out of the whole game? Okay, there we go. Sweet. We're good. It's all good. We're fine. I'm not retarded, I promise. I don't have any proof of that. Yes. Yes. This map. Ready for it. Ready for it. Looking forward to this map. Now, I actually need to, I'm gonna have to change my account name here. I don't know if I can though. I may have to start, I probably have to start a new account. Because I won't be using Btagonist as my content creator name anymore, so I need to make sure I start a new account. And it's not like I'm attached to this account or anything. I didn't even play a lot in terms of, I only played I think 1 or 2 multiplayer games. No big loss. I haven't put a grind into this account or anything, so before I start doing that, I should probably make the new one. And I should also say the same thing 500 times in a row. Because I'm a little out of practice. Okay? Alright? I'm a little out of practice. Players are ready. There's only 7 players for Team 2. So we're still waiting for an 8th, and we'll be good to go. Somebody left the host left. Dave has taken over as host, I think. Maybe? Who knows? Let's see what's on the battle list. I was kind of hoping for some 1v1s. I really want to do a little bit of 1v1 action. But there are tons of 8v8s happening right now. Like a lot. Struggle. It's a struggle, I know. Next time I will have some replays ready. Before I go live, you know, maybe 10-20 minutes before I go live, I'll go check for any kind of replays. That way, if it's running a little bit too slow, or I just don't want to wait for an online game to start, I'll have them ready. Oh, yes, an excellent stretch. Now, both teams prepared. Roughly equivalent rank distribution at the moment. Is somebody in? Of course, somebody is not readying up. They got kicked, but immediately replaced. Oh, Pew actually just left, I think. Ugh, this is why I need to have replays ready for this exact scenario. I'll tell you what else I need to do is re-download StarCraft so I can play that campaign. I haven't played Heart of the Swarm or Legacy of the Void in forever. Lately, it's probably sometime in the last year, I almost beat the Wings of Liberty campaign. and then just kind of stopped. I was blitzing through it. I wasn't watching the cutscenes or anything, which I'll probably do again. I mean, if you're watching Beyond All Reason or any kind of RTS content, you probably have seen the campaign for one of the biggest, well, I'll say the biggest RTS on the planet. So, which is free, by the way. If you want to, just a reminder. I know neither of those things. That is true. I also kind of wanted to play the original StarCraft campaign in the remaster. I was playing it recently, and I've been playing intentionally. I've been playing in the classic mode, where it looks like it did in the old days, which has been really fun and really nostalgic. But I would like to play the actual remaster as well. We are struggling. Get this game started. The struggle of casting live. We've got another game actually going on over here. All That Glitters. We have, oh, they're ready to go. They're calling to start. So let's start over here. It is a low rank game. Okay, so prepare yourself. But it is a game that is starting, which is important to casting. Kind of need the game to actually begin. So we'll be playing at All That Glitters. What is that on the horizon? It may look like a mirage, but it's actually 8 enemy commanders, and they are prepared to fight. Here at All That Glitters. Never seen this map before. In a symmetrical map, diagonally symmetrical. Big clusters of cliffs in the bottom right and top left. And relatively open, starting from the bottom left and going to the top right. On the red team, both teams have a player that hasn't quite joined yet. But on the red team, we have at the front line, Boy Howdy and R007, Duo Cent, and Zambri. They're in the front. Zambri's in the cliffs. Support players, 5-footer, Perma Pressure, Rocket, and Market Maker. And in the bottom, blue team. Holy shit, my mic actually picked that thunder up. That was incredibly loud. On the blue team, at the front, Niju-san, Arm Aber Sexy. I'm just gonna call him Sexy because he is. Occulted, and Dude Dan 1995. And in the bottom, for the support, Mahonizon. Mahonizon? I assume that that's a Spanish something. Omadon. Actually, you can see I keep interrupting my fucking intro. What am I? I'm just the least professional imaginable. Christ. Million Tech and Roscoe are the other two. Oh, no, that's Poland, I'm pretty sure. That's not Spanish. I'm just gonna call him Majo. I'm gonna anglicize the hell out of that word. I can't read that shit. I'm too stupid to read. The game begins. All the commanders drop in. How are they lined up right now? Duocent, Boy Howdy, and R007. Boy Howdy at rank 18, the other two low rank. Of course, it doesn't necessarily mean the rank system just changed, so it could just mean good players that are still pushing up through the ladder. But on the other side, Occulted, Amber, Arm, Sexy, and then Niju-san. Relatively equivalent ranks facing off. To Dan, middle rank, whereas Zambri is actually the top ranked player. So we should be able to hold the cliffs reasonably well. Depends on how many he's got to fight at once. Most often what happens is the player has to push to the north or to the south, depending on which cliffs you start in. They need to push towards their far cliffs and guard against the top or bottom entrances to the cliffs respectively. It's very difficult to guard at first. If you spread your forces out a little bit, you can kind of keep both of these choke points reasonably defended. What are we gonna have here for the supports? Got labs coming in. Plenty of vehicles and bots here. Nothing too crazy. Standard starts all around. Aircraft for Mejo, but I will say, be a little early. Maybe it's a little early for that. I don't know. Because I don't think the aircraft don't have as much build power. So normally what you'll see is air players starting bot or something so that they have some early build power. And then salvaging it later, going for air after they've done a bunch of eco work. First scouts are on the field. Mostly grunts, actually. Not a whole lot of scouts for red team, mostly combat units. And the top left cliffs, Niju and Omadon are coming in through the entrance. We might have first blood here, and it looks like we will. The grunt, first kill of the game, will murder one of Zammir's workers. Boy Howdy has set up a defensive line of grunts, but at only 5, it's not really worth, it's not really capable of defending anything. It's more for vision than anything, but he, despite the setting all these units up as a sort of scout line, dude runs 5 scouts out in the one area that isn't defended at all. Now, 007. 007 here has defenses in place. He does have units. Will he react? 007, not really reacting strongly. Goes for the mechs. He's going to take the mechs out. 007's going to move his units in. I mean, his commander was right there. He'll lose a mechs and a solar collector. Nothing too crazy. Meanwhile, Mejo's scout flies up to the top left cliffs, plants himself right on top of one of the cliffs. Should not be visible from down there. No, completely invisible. He may have been spotted on radar on approach, but from while he's up there, he will have vision on the surrounding. He will have radar and some vision. So got a little bit of a scout going on up there. Very nice. Armor pressure asking who's air. Market maker says not it. Perma looks like he's going all eco. There's no air or red. So does red die to air this game? We will see. We got some light gunships on the field already, so some ground defenses. Not, in fact, I'm in favor of this action, getting some ground stuff. Something that you can, in the early game, support the ground attacks with. Now, another scout. Oh, dude, Mejo sends another scout up here, giving him radar, but not radar of any of the units. So dude doesn't get any additional. He's got nothing there. Need you over here. Pushed back off of the cliffs in the top left. Niju's now on the left side of the map, away from the cliff edge. 5-footer, running in rocket bots. Nothing here by Niju to stop this. Sexy's gonna come in with some sexy pawns, which is gonna be a problem for 5-footer, who cannot push into that. Well, probably could push into that, really. If Sexy makes a horrible micro error when controlling the units, could probably just run them into rockets. But they can move around pretty fast. Still no major battles now, but battle lines have been drawn. What are our support players doing? Emilian going straight for Eco. He's the best player on the enemy team, or on the blue team, I mean. He's in the best position here. In the meantime, aircraft being produced. He's doing 2 more constructors, and then he's going to just start mass producing fighters. So the fighter wall is going to begin. And in fact, he has them patrolling already, but I think he's... No, he has not. He's going to set his engineers aside. Now, at the center, it is very quiet. Very little fire has been exchanged besides the early combat by Niju and Zambri. But Zambri and 5-footer have a decent army slowly beginning to build over here. Bugs and pawns and rocket bots. Something exploded on the right side. I'm not sure what. No artillery yet. Got a jamming device going around. Occulted's artillery is actually getting a little bit of cursory fire on Boy Howdy. Boy Howdy, though, about to have the agitator up. That will put pressure on Occulted. Market appeared to have simply missed. What? There's a dead commander over here. Almost entirely. I guess he sacrificed his commander at some point. Rockets being exchanged on the left side. At center, we have a little bit of a battle going on. Dude, looks like, tried to run some bots through, however, ran clear in to Boy Howdy's grunts and get taken down. Dude Dan is now pretty well contained inside the cliff area. But it's easier to defend, too. That agitator by Boy Howdy put in the work now. There's no Occulted now getting up his own agitator. This will complicate things because they are in range of each other. More artillery going up. Takes out a pawn. Boy Howdy just gonna move in. He pushes artillery forward, but they've got no support. So he runs his bots in. Gets some kills, but there are some tanks to support. He gets a couple of them. Really enough to cause significant damage, though. Income is about even, actually. About even on both sides. Only light combat, very quiet. The tension builds. With the exception of here, between Occulted and Boy Howdy, as they both now have operational artillery. The fight really begins here, but Boy Howdy's ahead on artillery count. And Occulted hasn't started another one. So Boy Howdy's got 2 agitators, a third one on the way, 20 seconds out. But Boy Howdy's lost his military. He's going to have to pull in these thugs real quick. His artillery is now exposed. He's definitely going to lose at least one, I think. Artillery defends itself. Barely able to survive. He's going to start trying to put repair on that. And now finally, Duocent moving in. He's got pounders, the riot tanks. Not really that beneficial here. Definitely better against something like pawns, but he's got the numbers, so he's going to push in and do plenty of damage here. But because they're not the best units for fighting against straight up other tanks, Occulted, with his limited numbers, killed a lot of that army. Occulted's going to need help, however. In the left, Niju. Large defensive network. Zambri about to push out. 5-footer. Commander goes down. Niju's commander destroyed and his front base is gone. At the left, another commander dead. Oh, sorry, this is Niju's command. The other one was occulted. Now, Sexy and Niju still have a pretty hefty defensive line here, able to push Zambri and 5-footer out. But in the center, boy howdy, is building these 3 artillery cannons. Really put him ahead. However, you need more than artillery. You should get up some more static D just to be ready. Maybe reclaim some of this stuff. Rocket says that's some AoE right there. I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about. At some point he also sacrificed his, oh, look at that little guy. That's neat. That's a neat walking style. Sexy now holding the line against Duo Scent, which is going to take some of the pressure off of Zambri and 5-footer on the left side. Big tank bush here. Duo Scent's tanks coming in. There's still only Riot tanks. Once again, I'm really not liking this decision. Riot tanks are squishier and also don't do nearly as much damage. They have a lot of knockback and splash, but not as much raw damage output as actual tanks. And on the left, though, like I said, the pressure got taken off of Zambri and 5-footer. They pushed in. Niju not have the power to repel this on his own. All he's got is some rocket bots left, and all he's producing is rocket bots, which is not an ideal army against a highly mobile tank force. They're gonna run straight into Niju's economy here. There's also a single tier 2 hound by Roscoff. Taking out Niju's entire solar or wind economy. Roscoff try and defend. Doesn't have much to defend with, but the commander's there. But he can't. He got 1 D-gun. That might be it. I don't think he has. Oh, he's got another one. Okay. Alright, he had 2 D-guns, he repelled the tanks, for now. But Niju's in a bad spot. He completely lost his position. He has a few precious few static defenses up in the north side of where he was stationed before. But now, Sexy now has to face a 3v1 situation. Duo Scent to his north. Zambri coming in from his west. 5-footer supporting. Back to the east. What is this mess? And we are playing SimCity over here. Successfully built a wall off. That is actually kind of a problem. They do obstruct movement. And if you have scouts and they're right up next to the wall, they can't shoot over it. So it'll actually stop scout spam to some extent. And he's just going to build it. He's going to completely box dude in. But that's kind of fine in a way, because it means dude can kind of just build. Any pressure. Except the fact that his entire left side is losing. Pretty much gone at this moment. He moves in an army. He's going to try and repel Zambri here. But the artillery's there. He needs to keep his army moving. Doesn't want to stand there and just eat artillery strikes. Zambri should lose most of his forces, but just when Zambri's force is depleting, Duo Scent comes in with his riot tanks. Once again, relying on the numbers. Despite the fact that most of his opponents are using tanks, he just simply refuses to use actual tanks. If he was producing medium tanks right now, he'd probably be way more dangerous. But he's content to just mass produce riot tanks at the moment. Rostock has to send, or Roscoff has to send some units forward. He does have some tier 2. Commander goes down at mid. And it looks like that was, Boy Howdy's commander. No, never mind, that wasn't Boy Howdy's commander. Whose is that? I mean, it's yellow. It looks like oh, that's Sexy's commander. Looks yellow. So Sexy's, the sexiest commander in the match is now down, fortunately. Never be able to gaze upon that delicious commander ass again. Roskov's hounds are putting in work, though. And here come the gunships. There's no anti-air here for the tanks. Zambri's tank's just going to take gunship fire. Gunships don't do a lot of damage, but fucking tanks can't shoot up, so like it's unanswerable damage at the moment. Seeing the gunships will probably produce at least a little bit of anti-air. Even just a couple anti-air vehicles can really screw up a whole bunch of gunships, so... We do have a fighter wall. Meijo's fighter wall slowly beginning to build into something usable. Sends his gunships in and out as needed. Kind of putting them up where he feels like he needs them. I do want to get to the point where I'm really good at playing air, because I like the idea of kind of just like teching up and very carefully placing my air units, going in for hit and run strikes, and then bouncing out back to my base. Million Tech and Rosskopf had to send their units forward. Niju and Thexy pretty much completely stomped out. But there's still plenty of units here. They can't move easily yet. On the right side, however, 007 has utterly contained. It's total containment here. There is an agitator, but just out of range is dude. So that artillery kind of pointless. These and a huge network of light laser towers and anti-air. So on the left side, Blue, although they have lost ground, they definitely have a scarier army. But on the right side, dude can't really move out, so he's forced to just kind of build. He is moving a Fat Boy in place. These do massive damage per shot. In fact, it's 800 damage per shot. Quite a lot. Unfortunately, that artillery's starting to fire now, and nothing to be done. Dude doesn't have an answer for it. In the middle. Duo's pushing up. Once again, mass riot tanks against units that chew up riot tanks. Not like riot tanks can't do any damage, though. But it's not very much. I mean, if we take a look at the damage values... Oh, actually, riot tanks do put out a little bit more damage. Oh, that's a light tank. Never mind. Trying to look for a medium tank and kind of compare numbers. Here's a stout, a medium assault tank. What? Riot tanks do more damage? They do have more damage. Their max health is 1500 compared to a stout's 1700. I'll be damned. I assume that riot tanks have a lot of knockback and splash, though, so that's pretty... It might be because of the splash damage, or I'm just uneducated at this video game. That's always possible. I'm the least experienced caster of all time. 007, after bombarding the hell out of dude's base, is going to just walk in. And because there's a single Fat Boy here, which isn't really going to do a whole lot against an enemy swarm. He does have hounds, though. Hounds in place. He really doesn't want to lose that Fat Boy. That's a lot of damage output. But it looks like it will go down. Fat Boy's down, but there's still 6 hounds to deal with. I'll push back 007's attack for now. However, Market Maker has moved in. What does he have? Some Sheldons. He's going to start pushing in. He's going to hold the line with that artillery. On the left, we have artillery bombardment. Million Tech's Sheldons. Attempting to punish the Mausers of 5-footer. Mobile artillery pieces. They're moving in from an angle. The Sheldons aren't focusing their fire on the rest of the artillery. Rosskopf is going to move his units up. Punish this encroachment. Gonna take out a whole bunch of artillery here. It looks like he's just running in. Absolutely fearless are the pawns. Yes, we hold the hounds back. Let the pawns go forth and die. But the hounds still do a lot of damage here. Pick apart that army pretty effectively. Rosskopf did real serious damage there. Didn't lose a whole lot for taking out a ton of Zambri's military. Definitely set them back. If we look at what they've got here, there really isn't a lot. A coordinated attack could push that, but they don't want to leave it completely open to Duo Center, who also has another riot tank swarm. Range 315. Okay, so riot tanks are also outranged by your typical medium tank. Now, the hounds are going to come in, but there's a lot of Mausers in place. Not the best timing for this attack. He loses a bunch of hounds. 3 hounds go down, and the rest are hurt. He gets a double kill. Almost every hound is dead. And he kills another one. There's 1 hound left. He lost every hound trying to push into that artillery choke point. Oh, no. That's actually a disaster. On the right side, dude. Can't really push in. Market Maker's building him an advanced metal extractor a stone's throw from dude's base. I guess you don't have anything to fear when you've got plenty of your own artillery guarding the choke point. Boy howdy's actually created a bit of a no man's land here. We've got 4 agitators. Well, the Colton is coming up to the front with some negotiator rocket launchers, which can outrange that plasma artillery. They are very slow, which would only be a problem if Boy Howdy had anything very fast to chase this with. So, if a Colt had wanted, which he isn't right now, he could just start bombarding their artillery to stop this attack. Damry says they need backline help. Sure, from what? Perma points out he's got... Oh, no. 9 starlights. And I think he might just have the energy. Well, no, he doesn't, because that's 1,000 energy per shot. Takes 5 seconds to reload. Actually, he might have enough energy output to fire these constantly. 10 starlights! That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage, and probably one of the coolest looking units. Oh my, what in the hell was that? Big missiles coming in. He's finally putting these negotiators to work, it looks like. By targeting this mountain. There we go. We got a missile hit. There's not a lot of military here to stop a frontal push, maybe? Oh, well, there's right. He might be able to do it. Oh my god. There are 2 SARs at the front, so there's absolutely enough firepower to stop this riot tank push. Colton, or Duo, does not care that his riot tanks are getting annihilated en masse and just pushes them all in. He A-moved them in and was like, fine, forget it. Don't need those anymore anyway, whatever. Throws his entire army away. The SARs put in the work there. Huge damage. On the left, look at this artillery fire. Are they even firing at units? Or is they just firing at ground? Who knows? Sending in these grunts one at a time and they're just getting shooed to pieces by those Mausers. Skelton coming in. Dude, undefended. Don't know what he's been building the whole time. He didn't have a high income, but it was enough to build units. Where did all his units go? Has he been building units? Dude Dan's commander gets pretty much uncontestedly killed. Dude doesn't have anything left. Majo gonna have to fight with his own units here. And some of the tanks on the ground taking pot shots at the aircraft, but there's not anywhere near enough ground attack. So Majo might go down here. Needs backup, but there's nobody that can help. There's a big push here. Up at the middle, Million Tech pushing in with a huge group of mobile artilleries, and these starlights are ripping them to pieces. Absolute destruction. Oh my, the carnage. Those freaking lasers. With a burst damage of 2,500. 2,500 damage per shot, one-shotting tons of different types of units. Any tier 1 units, most tier 2 units will just simply die to that. Omadon pointing out that Majo is about to get hit. Down here in the bottom left, there's not really anything to stop this. He's trying to mass produce gunships. He's trying to produce them as fast as possible. There's actually no anti-air for this army. Why does he pull his gunships to the north? He needs to pull them back in immediately. Well, he had no gunships, now he's got plenty. But tier 1 gunships don't do a lot of damage. If this mammoth gets in range and starts dishing out damage to that factory, he might be able to kill it. And he kills the factory, just walking this mammoth in. Majo just did not have the pure firepower needed to stop this mammoth before he could get in and do a bunch of damage. Loses a whole bunch of eco, his commander, and his factory. Omidon comes in, though, on the right side. He's going to push in. He's got a bull. He does have several heavy tanks here. And he's just running over the army of 007 right now. And he's not done there. He's going to push in, but I think he should pull back. He doesn't have a whole lot of arts. They're just running into Sheldon fire. Why not? He just threw this army away, but maybe it was worth it. He definitely repelled that entire attack. Really gave him 007 something else to think about for a while. A few units per side, they all go in. Majo survives, but he will need to rebuild. His doesn't even have any production going on at the moment. He just has a lot of these gunships, and like I said, not a very high DPS unit. 35 DPS. Pathetic. Pathetic. Great for anti-tier 1 bots. Or scouts, not so good against heavily armored targets. Over on the left side, not a whole lot has changed here. 5-footer has blown about 100,000 craters into the ground as Niju is just rallying grunts directly into artillery fire. They're not gonna run out of ammo, Niju. I mean, ammo's not a thing in the game, okay? Like, you're not gonna make them run out of artillery fire. On the left side here, near middle, Sexy, somehow having survived, has rebuilt a huge stout army. Looked like he was gonna attack in. Decided not to, and that's probably for the best, because that's a lot of SARS. Oh no, he's gonna attack in. And so we're gonna see these heavy tanks go to work. So many SARS. Nowhere near the firepower required to take these out. At this point, you need some tier 3 to try and deal with this. These SARS absolutely ripped that entire line to shreds. They're just gonna push in here. Zambri's gonna follow up behind him with some artillery. But these SARS are running into heavy firepower. They do get in range, though. There's a Razorback on the field. That will definitely help. Don't let him stand still. He just stands still, takes a whole bunch of SAR shots. He might survive this battle, though. Looks like he will survive. Every SAR dies, but a lot of army gets destroyed. And they gotta have that Razorback in place. He's really gonna want to have that. Where'd all the Starlights go, actually? Wait. Did they die? When the hell did they die? He had 10 of them. I have no idea what happened there. I completely missed that battle. On the right side, Colted having successfully pushed away from Majo, defending his teammate. Very good. Lots of SARS. He's just going to walk in. There, oh, there's all the Starlights. And they just start dishing out the pain to these SARs. Steve needs to keep moving the SARs in. If he's going to actually attack, he needs to just push. They're stuck. They can't get through. Bodies of the other SAR tanks inhibiting the movement there, preventing him from moving the rest of his heavy tanks in. This demands a flank. There's nobody to the north. It's too late now. Market Maker's got tier 3 units on the field. We got Shivas. Several Shivas. And every Starlight. This area is held for now. It's going to be hard to break out of that. Million Tech calls out. There is a Calamity being built on top of the cliff, which... that is nasty. That positioning for this weapon. This weapon doesn't have a high arc at all. It fires almost straight on. But if you build it on a cliff like this, it's going to have the vision to hit everything. From there, it has almost clear vision on most of the army of blue at center. So, and it can it'll pummel any attack trying to come in. But this is a serious problem for blue. They are on a timer right now. They really need to break out. Another commander dies. Who is it? Smoke clears. We discover it was Zambri's commander who bit the dust. Scott coming in, making good use of the resurrection. He's resurrected some of the SARS that they attacked in with earlier. Pushing out some damage with that. Loses a bunch of his resurrection units, though. But that... Okay, never mind. He has about 100 more. Repairing those SARs to full almost immediately. Meanwhile, Spider artillery at Vanguard. And on the right side, another attack. The Shivas have come in. Nothing of significant value to stop. There's still plenty of aircraft. There's some aircraft. They'll take another one down before we're going to get through. There's not enough gunships here. By not enough gunships, I mean, he really should... Hey, he's building an atomic bomber. I presume he saw that cannon being built and decided, oh, I'll just nuke it. That'll solve that problem. But he doesn't have very long. He's got one team. Or 1 minute, I mean, to finish that. He'll finish his atomic bomber in 30 seconds, unless the Shivas come in and wipe his whole base out. Not a good situation here. They really need that atomic bomber to finish so that they can try and take that cannon out, preferably before it's done. He's just trying to spam it out right now. He has 5 seconds before it's built. Needs to get off the ground. Oh, is he gonna finish it? He finishes it. The atomic bomber's done. He gets it off the ground. Where does he go? Does he head straight for it? He can't fly it over the right side because there's a lot of anti-air. What's he doing? He's gonna bomb the Shivas. Gonna use it defensively. Drops an itty-bitty nuke on a Shiva. Absolutely annihilates it. He's lost his entire base, but he still has a ton of gunships. But he needs to get that atomic bomber maybe over there. I don't know that he can. Is there anti-air? There is a screamer. I think that atomic bomber dies, and there it goes, the cannon. They've built bubble shields. They were prepared. But those shots are ricocheting off the top. They're bouncing off. Okay, they're bouncing over the base. This is incredible. They're actually bouncing over the base, hitting the shield and bouncing it over. He decides to redirect the fire. Oh my god. That cannon just putting in massive damage. Barely get some of these bubble shields up in time. Those bubble shields can't stand up all the time. Like, they won't stand up against a continuous barrage for a long period of time, but it will require a lot of length. In the meantime, that Calamity, just drop it. Look at this fucking silly thing. What a ridiculous cannon. $2,600 DPS. Each shot, 1,300 damage. It can just drop artillery from any freaking range. It has a ridiculous range. It's capable of targeting all these bases. He's actually trying, but the bubble shields are in the way. Can't quite hit the bases dead on. Bubble shield spam is working out for them right now. That's actually really good timing. They had enough time to respond, and they responded. Now, on this side, he still has some aerial workers. So, Mejo, currently rebuilding. Does he stop the bomber? He may have lost the bomber at some point. It looks like he did. Or he may have landed it somewhere to keep it safe. But I don't see it. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's dead. He may have tried to go straight for the Calamity. At this point, these bubble shields are the only thing keeping them alive. Some of the shots, no, bouncing off, but that shield, like I said, sustained fire. Some of the shots are starting to get through. Zexi's just taking big hits now. Shield is almost baited. It's kind of cool how it seems if it gets down low enough, some of the shots will just penetrate. It doesn't have the shield strength to actually block, fully deflect the shot anymore. In the meantime, though, oh my, there's a nuke! Somebody launched a nuke. Oh, Blue's army is gone. It's all gone. The bubble shield is gone. There's a few tier 3 units on Roscoff left. And there's a pulsar at the front. There's nothing else out there now. Nuclear blast putting a stop, I think, to any hope of Blue pushing out of there successfully. Calamity selects a new target. Ricocheting shots into some of the other bases. Actually a problem. He needs more. He needs more of these bubble shields up because the shots are ricocheting into the rest of the bases. Shield's strength starting to fail. And Calamity pretty much a game ender, I think. I don't know that there's anything left they can really do here to fight this. they do have a lot more shields in the back. Support players still have protection, but their front lines are gone. Majo says it's GG. I can't help but they agree. Dexy talking about how they was deflected. Majo tried to rebuild, but some Karganeths are coming in. Probably going to deal with the rest of this. They are taking a lot of damage. I don't think Majo is going to be able to rebuild anything significant. The anti-air and anti-nuke are in place, but that was really nasty damage. At this point, what's the Calamity? What is he firing at? What in the hell? There must have been something up there, maybe a scout. There's some wreckage there, so there must have been a scout or something up there. Planted and waiting. With the Calamity in place and that nuke, Blue's been pushed out almost entirely out of the cliffs in the bottom right. Majo's almost dead. That leaves only the two support players, Miliantech and Gloskov, as the primary sources of anything, really. He's trying to get a Thor tank up and running. He already has one. Trying to build more bubble shields. Shield balls. He's got nothing left. Meanwhile, on the right side, a little bit of damage was done, but I'm not sure where from. I can stop this mammoth from getting by. They're going to bring in a bunch of SARs and just kill that mammoth almost immediately. Ninja was trying to build a third shield, didn't have enough time. Now it's gone. Look at that artillery. Zambri. I think that was Zambri's. Oh no, it was one of 5-footers. Razorbacks goes in, dies. There is a Titan on the field. I mean, just look at the income difference right now. Red pulling in. I will say though, not as much as not as big a difference as I thought. Oh my! Miliantech bombed by aircraft. Atomic bombers from perma-pressure come in. Double kill on commanders, wipes out Miliantech's entire base. There was no anti-air. Blue dies to air this time. Not just blue team, but literally the blue player just dies to air. And with enough tier 3 on the field, might have been able to re-secure position, but really with that Calamity in the way. Somebody tried to fire a nuke. Gets blocked. There is Market Maker's got the nukes. He's got more bombers coming across the map now. Omadon's gonna attack in, but I mean, all he's got is some Bull heavy assault tanks. He's got one Thor. But he doesn't have the energy to run it. Thors do require energy. 5,000 energy per shot. He does not have the economy to run that tank. He's only producing 325 energy. So we can't even fire the Thor right now. To be honest, I'm surprised they're even still in the game. Same thing for Blue. Well, nobody's taken Blue stuff yet. Blue still has some tier 3 units out, but nobody's taken them, so they're just getting pummeled by artillery. Niju took it. He needs to move them out of the way. The Calamity gun has gone back to attacking the bases. There's enough plasma there to stop it for now, but they can't block it forever. And it looks like another atomic bomber coming across. Gonna take out the anti-air. Need to wait to reload. Should be reloaded shortly. He's looking around for something. It doesn't look like there's enough anti-air to stop this. A nuke comes in, and he blew. Somebody launched a nuke and killed their own team's atomic bombers. But it's fine, because there's 4 more where that came from. They go down. The atomic bombers die in the blast. Oh, there's still 1 left, but it'll take anti-air fire, and he'll also go down. Surprised they're even still in the game. Shiva's now just walking across the field. Shiva's and Karganeths should put an end to this. I don't think there's anything left that can really fight this. There's 1 Titan by Niju, but he doesn't have the energy production to really fight with it. In fact, it's a little bizarre that he took it at all. He must be getting his energy from elsewhere, energy sharing or something. In they come. Actually pretty good hold, somehow. But that's not the only army that's coming in. From the north, duos, huge tank line, and to his east, boy howdy, with a ridiculously large field of SAR tanks coming in. And they just start pummeling that shield. If they're not careful, they might deflect into their own tanks, but no, they get through okay. I think they did actually do some friendly fire damage, but that is way too many SARs. Stivomedon's base falls. This game is pretty much over. We're just watching the post-game carnage, basically. That TV mode, hang on. I don't like how much it's zooming in and out. We will turn off the TV mode for now. The Last Stand over here by Roscoff. He still has a Titan and a whole bunch of tier 3, so he's holding. But the encroaching army coming into firing range. A lot of SAR heavy tanks. Drops a defensive nuke. He had nukes, I had no idea. Like he dropped a defensive nuke on his enemy. Those SAR tanks all took a bunch of damage from that, so in the distance on the mouse pointer you can see Titans approaching. Just imagine being this close to this battle. Well, you don't have to because I'm right here and I've got you. Another nuke fired. Defensive nuke aimed, I assume. Oh, it's an anti-nuke. Somebody's trying to nuke him. And there he goes. And he held until the last. Despite losing the game, Roscoff was actually the most efficient user of resources and destroyed the most units and defenses. So, good job, Roscoff. Well done. Well done, good. Well done. Good game. Very nice. Well. That about does it. I'll wrap it up for today. Schedule's incoming, the name change is incoming, we can clean everything up, I can start the social media accounts, we can get it all underway. And I'll have the time to do things like maybe take clips, stuff like that. If you're on Twitch, if you see something fucking badass happen or funny or whatever, remember you can clip stuff. It does save the clip to the channel so that people well beyond today can watch it. So if you ever see something sick, do not hesitate to take a clip and Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys again. Won't be next Thursday because I think I work next Thursday, and then after that I should have every Thursday off guaranteed. Be here every Thursday, and we'll have random streams beyond that. So we'll have the scheduled day, we'll have unscheduled days. So plenty more is gonna be coming down the road. Plenty more beyond all reason. And what I'm really excited for now that I've seen gameplay for it, Stormgate, right around the corner. I love casting Bar. It's fun, and I'm gonna probably love casting Stormgate because it looks great. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Good to be back. I'm glad that I have the time now to stream a little more. Sure. Thank you for watching. Check in at random over the next coming days. I'll be streaming anytime I have an off day, for at least an hour. And then, not next week, but the week after, check in at Thursday. I'll have a time for you soon, and we'll be good to go. And I'll see you then.